Hi, I'm Derek Copper with Principal LED. I work in the engineering department, and today we're going to go over some of the advantages of using Principal LED modular stick products. Starting with the prefabricated positive and negative wire whips. These come in 3 and 6 foot sections depending on what size the stick is, and they make it easy when you're running distances. You don't have to worry about trying to wire nut any additional wire on. You can just run this right to your power supply and go from there. The other big advantage that we're going to talk about is field cuts. Because of the nature of our product, not using light tape and not having to prefabricate it yourself, you're going to save time and energy in the field because these are already going to be made in the standard lengths that a T8 fluorescent tube would come in. However, if you get out in the field and discover that your survey wasn't done exactly right and you are a few inches short, there are a couple different options you can do. Whatever you end up needing, you can cut it. If you decide that you need an extra 6 inches off where you happen to need to cut right between the modules, that's fantastic. I'm going to go over how if you need to only cut 3 inches off and you're between a module, what can you do? The issue here is if you cut right between the module, you're going to ruin that module, and that's fine, but more importantly, you're going to run out of the extra little bit of stick at the end to actually install the product overall. So, whenever you do have to worry about a cut that is over a module, there are going to be on each side, or one side if it's single-sided, you're going to have your number 4 screw that is mechanically fastening this module to the aluminum extrusion. Just take any Phillips head, we're going to take that out. From there, pop off the LEDs, as well as the adhesive on the back. Okay. Now at this point, as you can see, all you have to do is worry about cutting your extrusion. You can do this with a handsaw, with a metal blade, you can do this with a skill saw, or you can do it with if you have it in the shop before it goes out. We do have a chop saw that I'm going to utilize for this purpose. But before we get to that point, I want to focus on what to do with these extra modules that are coming off. If you light this up at this point, you're going to have 2 dangling. It's not going to look good, so you have a couple different options. One, take your scissors or wire cutters, cut at the module to remove them, and then you can use silicone injected wire nuts and then just cap them. Come on. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is perfectly fine. You shouldn't have any problems with NEC or UL doing this at all. At that point, you can use a zip tie. Just put them, once you do your cut, put them on there. No issues whatsoever. Other alternative, you can go to the next module that you are keeping and cut right there at those, and then go back in with any clear or white silicone, weatherproof silicone, and you're just going to run a bead right over the edge there, and make sure that it was covering all the leads so that there was no wire exposed that could be exposed to any moisture or any of the elements. Do take care, if you get any on your finger, not to get it on the lens, as it does have the potential to cause some color distortion. So next, I'm just going to take the stick right over here. And I'm going to make my cut. Like I said, I use the chop saw, skill saw, hand saw, they all work, and they get the job done. You're left with a end that will either go into the existing T8 socket, or using any of our mounting brackets, it'll still have the same functionality. It is important to note that whenever you do make your cut in the field, start at the end that does not have the prefabricated leads. If you cut those off, obviously this whole method will still work, but you do lose the potential to have the extra footage on there without having to do any additional wire work that you could avoid otherwise.